Okay, this is the exterior. It's going to be a long one, so buckle up. The front walkway has settled or sunken so that this front step is now higher than 7 3/4 inches. This scarring here is what's known as a clue. We've got some cracking right here on the flatwork. We've had foundation repair on this structure. We've got some vinyl siding. You can see it's not moving because it wasn't hung. It's supposed to expand and contract. It's the thermodynamics of it. That's what it's supposed to do. Rain gutters are below grade. Lawn sprinkler heads should not be closer to a structure than 12 inches. And this system's been decommissioned. But still, we're going to report on it. And the sprinkler heads are too close. Wood mulch underneath the drip edge. That's conducive to wood destroying insects. Termites. I got it in my house, I get that. We all got it. I get that. But the Structural Pest Control Services says that I should call that conducive conditions. And I will. Conducive by design, I get it. But your rain gutters, the ends, they're not supposed to be closer to the butt ends. There's supposed to be a 2-inch gap there between that and the wall or the beam. Any wall or beam or anything like that, there's supposed to be 2 inches. Doorbell, are you illuminated? That's not illuminated. More cracking. That's called a soldier brick. Soldier bricks are this way. Sailor bricks are this way. And this is the southeast corner of the garage, front porch. These are called weep holes. Homeownership 101. Probably should have said this when I was on the roof with you. Homeownership 101. All roofs leak. All walls leak. We design them to shed water faster than they accept it. So we have these weep holes. Those are there by design. Sometimes all they let out is vapor, because you don't want vapor behind your walls. And sometimes if you have a real problem, water will come out of them. I've seen water come out of them. This is the south side of the garage. These are called lintels. These little metal things right across here. And they're metal. And they have metal expands and contracts. Got a little bit of a gap right over there. It expands and contracts, and so it puts stress on the brick mortar. It's not unusual that you find cracks around the lintels. Got high soil here. High soil. Bushes touching the house. More lintels, more cracks. More money, more problems. Coming along. Metal overhead car door. Looks like it's been scraping a little bit right up here. This rain gutter is below grade. Coming along here. See it right there? Just reach up in there and grab yourself a nice little dose of electricity. As the house is moved, the electric power supply conduit separated from the box needs to be reattached. This box should have been mounted on a mounting plate. Should have been a mounting plate. If it was a brick construction, then it would be sealed. But it should have been mounted on a mounting plate. The grounding rod should have been completely buried. We got some more broke conduit right there. This, I don't know what this is, but we got a leak. We got a leak right here. This looks like a water heater. That looks like a water heater. Temperature pressure leak valve. Is that the safety pan? What's going on here? Water heater, temperature pressure safety pan drain line, and we got a crack in the siding there. But what's that leak? What's that leak? We're gonna have to find out. Inquiring minds want to know. A tree should not be closer to a structure than 25 feet. For 25 feet. Why? Roots and branches. You saw the branches touching the roof over on the other side. So people have a pier mentality. We've had piers installed. See that? Pier there, pier there. People have a pier mentality is what I call it. They say, don't have to worry about this house. It's got 26 piers. However many they say. Horizontal stair-step cracks between these windows. You say, well, the engineer said you should move the trees. 26 piers. Okay, but what about the engineer saying that engineer said we need a root barrier in these trees? 26 piers. So that's what you hear is how many piers you got. That's what you hear. But you might want to look at the engineer's report and see what else the engineer recommended for this structure. I get it. It's a nice tree. You want to keep it. So did they put a root barrier in here? Which is not a permanent fix, by the way. You want to know. And see these weep holes? You're also supposed to have them on your fenestrations. It's French for hole in your wall. Windows and doors. You know, it's a charge for the dad jokes and they're worth it. But they didn't mind putting weep holes down here, but they didn't put them here. You don't need weep holes over the garage door because that's all siding. But anywhere you have brickwork, you should have weep holes. Wood mulch, wood mulch, wood mulch everywhere. Okay, this is called a shrinkage crack. Some people call them corner pops. Call it what you will. But that's not a structural issue. It might be a brick issue, but if it's in the span of a hand, I don't know whose hand, and if it goes this way, then yes, it's supposed to support the brick, but that's not a structural issue. This electric receptacle outlet right here, all right, it doesn't work and will not reset. Sprinkler head's too close. Wood mulch next to the house. Coming on along. Did they hang this? No, they didn't hang this. Can it expand and contract? No, it can't. What happens? Oh, I don't know. Things like this. Things like this happen. You see the piece right there? Now, I don't know what caused that. But something did. Something did. Could wind-blown rain get in there? Sure can. Sure doesn't look like it was designed to be like that. I don't know. We got storm windows here. It's the first ones I've noticed, actually. Huh. Okay. Inquiring minds. Storm doors are beyond the scope of this inspection. Looks like it's okay. This is GFCI protected, but this should have a weather cover like the others. In-use cover is what they're called. Should have an in-use cover. Stair-step cracks between the brick and mortar, and then it comes over here in the foundation. Your foundation's cracked right here. I get that we've had foundation repair. I get that. But as far as pest control is concerned, that's a conducive condition for termites to have a crack like that. I don't know how you can fix it, but that's what it is. This patio is obviously dropped. It used to be anchored to the structure. All these rusty bolts coming out here. That's a Tetanus shot right there. That's a Tetanus shot. Oh, more storm windows, maybe. Okay, the blind inspector. I'm just now becoming aware. All right, that happens. That happens. This wiring used to go to that old shed over there. Now that's been decommissioned. A solid plate probably should have been installed on that, but that's all right. You don't want water getting in there if you ever plan on putting electricity back out there. On both sides, this faucets don't work. The east and the west side. The remote faucets. They do in the backyard. They do in the backyard. The remote faucets, way out there, 2 of them, they work. The pressure's pretty low on them. Pressure's pretty low. We got one right there between those little trees, and then one way back there. I don't know if you can see it on the fence. Way back there. Remote faucet there, remote faucet there. They both work. The pressure's pretty low on them. And they do not have vacuum breakers. And they're not insulated. Now this little deck, if you install it right, it'll last about 14 years. If you install it like a tree house, all jacked up and everything, it lasts about 14 years. Why can you install one perfectly and one imperfectly and they last about the same amount of time? It's because that's how long the material lasts. And this material is not lasting very long. I mean, you'll get some utility out of this, but that's a tetanus shot, rusty nails sticking up out of it, laminated wood. Part of this happened is because they painted it, and then the moisture didn't have any place to go. Had no place to go. And so it just held it. And all the moisture to come up out of the ground stopped because the paint sealed, and then just started rotting. It would have rotted anyway. It would have rotted anyway, but I mean it is. It is. It's pretty rough. Again, we'll probably finish the season with it. If you got kids though, watch out. This trees touching the roof. Your condensing unit over here, that's for the air conditioning system. It's 5 tons. It's too close to the house. We'll talk about that in a minute. I've got a separate video for that. Coming along. There's some repairs. These are some pretty good sized cracks right here. I don't mean to yank you around. That's part of my process. Mr. Magoo home inspections. Tree too close. This receptacle outlet works, but the GFCI safety device on it does not work. There's the clean out we talked about, or going to talk about, depending on where it sits in the report. We're going to talk about there's where the main shutoff valve should have been, which it's not. It's kind of moving on along. This is where we got 55 PSI. That wasn't as long as I thought it was going to be.